For Josh McCauley, please raise your hand and we will call on you. All right, first question will go to Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star.
So, Josh, how did it feel getting out there last night and then round two earlier today?
It was good. It's a great energy for that first day. So many guys wanted to be out there, and we waited so long for an opportunity to come play. Unfortunately, didn't practice today, and I might be out for a couple more days, but just tweaked that knee. So precautionary reasons, I didn't go today. So that's why I wasn't out there.
Next question will go Michael Lev, Arizona Daily Star.
Hey, Josh. Grant was talking last night about his personal growth over the offseason. What have you noticed as far as his demeanor, leadership, just kind of the way he carries himself?
Yeah, he's done a great job of transforming into a much more vocal leader. Last year he was a freshman. It's hard to be a vocal leader when you're a freshman, and that's something he'll pick up. He'll continue to pick up as we progress and as we grow as a team. I felt the connection between the O-line and the backfield and the whole offense in general is becoming a lot greater. It's pretty good to see. Yesterday we were clicking. It was a great first day. So, yeah.
Something else I'd like to ask you about. Grant also seemed to imply to a certain degree that he was kind of recruiting Donovan Lai to come back, or at least he had a bunch of conversations with him, the day that Donovan announced that he was going to leave. And then, of course, he ends up coming back. What was your involvement in that situation, if any? And what was your reaction when you found out that Donovan was going to be around after all?
It was a tough situation because Donovan is a great football player. He's a great person. He's someone that everyone wants around. Everyone wants to be around. It was tough to see him make that decision, but I think after that happened, we kind of came together as a family, and we showed that this is the culture that we're trying to build here as a community, as a team that we want to continue to progress towards, and and when he decided that he's going to stick around, it was great to hear. I love playing next to him. He's a great football player, so I was really happy to see that.
Next question will go Jason Shear with Wildcat Authority.
Hey, Josh, you have some new guys on the offensive line, Josh Baker and some others. What's your advice to them the first few days of camp?
This is a difficult time. Like we've been away from the game for so long. Like we're just now starting fall camp in October here, and they've had so much more time to learn the playbook and really dive deep into that playbook. And that's kind of the hardest thing I think for freshman alignment is to get the playbook down, and then it becomes a lot easier once you got that. So I think this actually helped them out a lot to get a lot more meeting time over Zoom. Like we've been meeting over Zoom, doing a lot of installs, doing a lot of film review, stuff like that. So I think it's helping them out a lot, and it shows, because usually a freshman in fall camp, they're not going to know a whole lot, but they're getting it pretty easy now. So it's looking pretty good.
Next question will go back to Justin Spears.
Josh, when you look at Grant as a quarterback, now that you've had time to be his teammate for a year, what does his skill set remind you of?
I don't know. I've like on the field skill set. It's a skill set I've never played with before. I've always had a true dual threat quarterback in the backfield. But I kind of like it. You know where he's going to be. He's very confident in how he leads the offense, and I think that's a huge part of his skill set. Is he is vocal on the field, and he commands the best out of his teammates, which is really good to see.
Next, we'll go back to Michael Lev.
Josh, according to the new NCAA rules, I believe you could come back next year if you wanted to. You could play all the games this season and then come back for a sixth year, eligibility wise. Is that anything that you've thought about at this point as far as your plans?
Yeah, it's definitely something I thought about. I love this game, and to play it as long as I can is a blessing. So that's definitely something I'll think about. I haven't made any decisions yet, but it was really good to see that decision was made.
Sure. How would you describe what this offseason was like compared to, a quote unquote normal offseason?
It was chaos. Everyone on the team was scratching and clawing just to come back. Like everyone who wanted to come work out together. You just want to, like, it's summertime. Like there's not many people, not many students in Tucson. That's kind of a big time for teams to bond together and get through those workouts and dominate and just grow stronger as a team. And it was tough to do this summer just because of the fact that we weren't around each other a whole lot. And then when we did start working out, we were in smaller groups. You didn't get to see your teammates every day. Like there was people on the team that we've been working out for a month and I still haven't seen them yet. So it was tough, but I think we got through it and we're progressing as a family here, and that's what we're trying to build.
Next question will go back to Jason Shear, Wildcat Authority.
At least for now, there's stability at quarterback. You know who the guy is going to be. How important is that, especially for a guy at your position?
I mean, it's great to have all over the field, the whole offense. It just builds trust. We get those reps, the constant reps of the same people. Everyone's on the same page, and it just helps us grow so much stronger as an offense and to get us to where we want to be.
Back to Justin Spears for the next question.
So, Josh, when the Pac-12 announced that it was going to postpone football to 2021, was there ever a thought of possibly transferring?
No. I love it here. Arizona gave me the opportunity to come play here. I love the guys that we have here. I love our coaching staff. It's the place I wanted to be, and I wasn't going to pack up and leave. This is where I wanted to be, so that's where I'm going to play.
Next question, Michael Lev.
Josh, which offensive line man or men do you feel like have grown the most since, say, the end of last season, have improved the most, I should say?
You got Jordan Morgan. He's put in a lot of work. He's grown a lot. He was a freshman last year, and it's hard to play O-line as a true freshman. And he's shown a lot of progress. Peyton Fierce has worked his ass off, coming back better than ever. We're starting to build an O-line that is actually pretty deep, and that's really good to see. As we got this is the most guys I've ever had at O-line since we've been here. I think we're up to like 18 guys or something. So it's really good. Everyone's getting a lot of good work. Everyone's progressing.
We have any more questions for Josh? David Kelly, KVOA.
Hey, Josh, just kind of going through this whole COVID experience, what do you think you've most learned about yourself in dealing with everything that's transpired this year?
I think for me, and it kind of goes for everyone else, is you got to hold yourself accountable. And in the times that we weren't working out as a team, like that is real easy time for guys just to slack off and get comfortable and not really put the work in. That's when guys need to start holding themselves accountable. And I felt like that was something that I needed to grow at too. Like there's always stuff I can improve at. And I think it was actually looking at the brighter side of things that could have helped. That did help. So I think that would be the one takeaway. Yeah.
Grant was saying last night that, he tried to reach out to a lot of guys during the process and whatnot, sending texts and whatnot. Was there maybe one or two particular texts that he sent that you just kind of maybe really got something out of, or you thought was really an introspective thought that he had?
I can't think of a text or two off the top of my head, but there was, like, just because we were away from each other so much and we didn't always get to see each other, I think it helped our communication as an offense so much more this summer, because you're always checking in with guys, because you're not seeing them every day. So you gotta put forth that effort to go out and communicate with your teammates, and it builds a stronger bond.
When Donovan said he was thinking about leaving, was there a concerted effort at all between the guys to try to say, hey, we need to talk to him and see if we can convince him to stay?
Oh, definitely. That was when he did announce that he was thinking about leaving. It really hurt. We're building a family here, and that was something we wanted him to be a part, and we wanted him to lead us through. And so yeah, we reached out and we wanted him here.
All right, thank you, everybody. That's it for Josh. We'll have offensive coordinator Nolan Bozzoni here in just a little while. Michael Lev or David Kelly, sorry, KVOA.
Who's it, David?
Hey, Noel, how are you?
Good, David. How you doing through all this?
Yeah, what do you, obviously
all this madness. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing great. Hey, just so I guess, what are you liking about these fast practices? I mean, you guys seem to be in and out of there pretty quick. What's that allowing you guys to get accomplished?
I tell you, we've been on this Zoom world for so long, and we've actually got to spend more time with our kids, in actual meeting time, so classroom time, basically. And so I kind of like it. I'm getting a little old too, so I don't have to be out there as long, but it's been fun to, and it's like any 18, 19-year-old kid, their attention span is so much, just so much. So we can get out there, get our work done. The kids are really staying focused. So it's been fun.
And just in terms of Grant's footwork, I know he's talked about, working on that. What are some of the improvements you wanted to see him make in that respect, and kind of just how you need him to be moving in the pocket?
There you are. I couldn't see you.
Yeah.
Grant has been something that's really actually helped him too. Grant needed a lot of work as far as his pocket presence. He's such a big, tall, long guy. All right. And so working on his quickness in the pocket and creating passing lanes and sliding in the pocket. So we've had a lot of time to work on that. We've had some time to, just clean up some fundamentals. And actually, I think he's thrown it as well as I've seen him throw it since he's been here.
Next question will be Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star.
Coach, so I guess your relationship with Grant over the last few months has been virtual, but how has it grown from spring ball throughout the summer and then now?
Well, for one thing, we can't, this whole thing started, and then we didn't have the spring ball, which was tough on everybody, every college football team. And then they came back because it was such a fluid situation with when we would start. The season was going to start now. It's going to start here. And so, there were so many unknowns. So Grant has been in town since those times. So we got a chance to really develop our relationship and spend a lot of time on our Zoom virtual meetings. And then when they allowed us to go on the field and actually have, our 8 hours a week and get to work on, football specific stuff, we had a ton of time, just he and I to spend on the field, just working on things you really never have time to work on in the course of a camp, a real camp in a season. So I think it's been really beneficial for him. And so, obviously the closer that he and I become, knowing each other and knowing what his strengths and weaknesses, and the same for him, knowing my strengths and weaknesses, I think it's a better situation.
And he was one of the more outspoken players for playing football this year with the We Want to Play movement. What does it say about a guy who was just a freshman kind of, stepping up into that leadership role?
Well, one thing you got to know about Grant is Grant has unbelievable passion for this game, right? And he wants to be really good at it. So he has those ingredients already. And so obviously this is something that he's worked, basically his whole young life up to this point to want to play major college football. And so I think it's just very, very important to him. And he, to be honest with you, even with the unknowns of when we were going to play or if we were going to play, he never took a day off. So he was going to be prepared to play this season if it started now or it started in the first of the year or it started in 2021 fall.
Next question will be Michael Lev, Arizona Daily Star.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Grant.
Hello, Michael.
Hello. Hi there. Can you hear me? I was going to ask you about Grant sending that letter to the governor of California. I feel like it's one thing to, put a hashtag out on Twitter, but to actually pen a letter to the governor of a state. What did that act say to you about him? He is a very unselfish guy. Like, I had no idea he did any of that stuff. He just did it. He's a very unselfish person. So I think it just shows that his, what was important was just not, hey, I want to play football this year and it's about me. I think what it shows is that his love for the game and that he was just
his overall, concern about all of college football, about how important it is to our communities and to our states. And I think he sees that. And so I think that was a pretty mature thing for him to do.
Coach Sumlin has talked about sort of figuring out who our playmakers are on the perimeter. How do you feel about that group of guys and where things stand at the moment with that?
Well, I cannot question at all their 1-2 and their hard work right now, because they've come out and had 2 great days. The downside of all this, right, for all of us was that spring ball is usually your evaluation time. So you get to make some decisions on some players and, hey, this guy's a real, where do we fit him into the offense, and what can we do with this guy, and what's his strengths? Well, we didn't have that. So right now here for about a week or so that we're kind of going through that process. And I think any good football team has competition. You got guys that are pushing each other. It's not like, okay, we got 3 receivers and the rest of the guys can't play. Right? That's not a good situation. I think we're in a great situation now because we've developed some depth. We've got guys pushing each other. And so it's like life, right? Performance based. And so they understand when they go out there, they need to perform or they could lose their job. And so it's been a really good, healthy competition.
Next question will be Jacob Benuti, Daily Wildcat.
Josh mentioned earlier that the unusual offseason was a bit of a struggle for everyone. Despite all that, do you feel like there were any positives to having this extra long offseason?
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of have a little COVID fatigue, right? The best thing about them letting us finally get out and practice is I have no more Netflix shows to binge watch. Okay, so I was in trouble. But I think it's kind of funny is it mentally, we are so much further ahead now than I think I've ever been. And I think it's been because of our what Coach Sumlin and our administration people did for setting us up, with the meetings and the time and having Zooms with our players and getting to spend time with them on Zoom. That's kind of like a way of life for us now. And so I think that mentally has really put us ahead of the curve. Right now they can go out and they feel comfortable with the verbiage and all the things mentally that you need to know in this game. And now I think they can go out and just play.
Next question, David Kelly, KVOA.
Hey, Coach, now that you guys are in that daily Quidel testing, how's that working out? How's that flowing with that new protocol?
I think fine. I mean, every guy's been out there. I mean, I don't really know how that whole thing works, David, but all I know is that I passed every test so far, so that was good. I mean, I think they're doing a great job. It's been unbelievable. I mean, the guys they're getting a lot of things done in a lot of important things done in a very short period of time, with making sure our kids are safe and staying in the protocol. And we've had the kids out on the field, and the kids have done a great job with maintaining their protocol also.
Next question, we'll go back to Justin Spears, Arizona Daily Star.
So 2 questions. One, you said you binge watched Netflix shows. What were you watching?
Oh my gosh, Ozark. Have you not seen Ozark yet?
I have not.
We'll put that on your list. Okay. Ozark and Money Heist.
Okay.
Now I don't know. You might have trouble with Money Heist because it's subtitles, so you might have to read a lot. I don't know, but yes.
And then my next question is, it seems like this extra time off was very beneficial for Jamari Joyner.
Yes.
For rehabbing that injury. What have you seen out of him just from being back, and what are you expecting out of him this year?
I see a really good athlete that kind of got thrust into a important position last year as a redshirt freshman, but very athletic. And I see that same guy coming back a lot more mature, a lot more feeling comfortable lining up with the receiver spot. And who knows, he may still line up at some quarterback spot too. We don't know, right? But he's just such a versatile kid that he brings so much to our offense at different positions. And on top of that, I think he's one of our top playmakers.
Next question, Jason Shear, Wildcat Authority.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Jason.
Beyond Grant, what are your just thoughts on the overall quarterback room right now?
You know, like I said, it's had a chance for the Will Plumbers and the Lukes and the Doyles and those guys because of all the meeting time we've had on Zoom mentally to watch video and just have really time to discuss things and kind of dive into, you know, the mental part of the game. I think it's really helped those guys. Now the downside is that, like I was talking about earlier, is, you know, I wanted to come out of spring ball with those guys competing, you know, so Coach Sumlin and I could really evaluate our quarterback's position with those guys, because besides Rhett, who is, you know, the old man of the group, and, you know, he's been in games and he really understands the offense. I got 3 young guys that have really no experience. And so, you know, missing the spring ball, probably on the field stuff, hurt those guys the worst. But I think mentally they're ahead of the game right now. And now it's just a matter of them taking that information to the field and being able to do it on the field. So, you know, same thing. I think Coach and I want to go here for about a week or so and give these guys a chance to show where they are in their growth, and then kind of make some decisions on the position behind Grant.
All right, we have time for one more question. We'll go to Michael Lev, Arizona Daily Star.
Coach, what did the return of Donovan Lay mean for the offense?
Can you write that in your paper? Huh? Coach thrusts arms into the air. Okay. It was, you know, and it was awesome. Donovan is such an awesome guy and an awesome player, and was very important. And I mean, for him to make the decision he made, which I believe 1,000% was, he made the right decision, and he believes that too. I'm pretty sure of, was not only, I think, the best decision for him, but for this football team, and because he's such a well-liked, not only a good player, but a well-liked person on this football team. And he's one of the guys on our offense that's played in a lot of games and brings us some experience. So yeah, that was there was a few kind of nail-biting days there a week or so ago, but man, it's just been awesome having him back, and he's been doing great. Got a smile on his face, and he's really doing a good job.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, guys, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. That's all we have for today. We'll be back on Monday.